Okay guys, this is what we're doing. We went ahead and got some fertilizer right here. Some triple 13 over at Lowe's. And I went ahead and pulled out the little spreader. And I got this battery powered one. I'm going to try it. Usually I use the hand one, and I got a little scale here. Now, we have 800 square foot of garden, so I'm going to put 10 pound of that 13 on it. And that's not the strongest mix we could make, but that's what I'm going to put. We could put a little more down, but it says to use 1 to 1.5 pounds per 100 square foot, so we're going to go ahead and spread it. Now I'm weighing it up here with just an old Taylor scale right there, and I'm going to go ahead and spread that down, and then we're going to grab the tractor and the tiller and we'll till that all up. And once we get this incorporated, we'll be able to row it up and get ready for our planting our onions. But anyway, let me get that handled and I'll cut you back on. Okay guys, so I went ahead and ran the tiller over it and got it all tilled up for you. Now all we got to do is make the hills. Now that tiller breaks it up pretty good, but you can see I got it all tilled up here. I put the fertilizer down, I tilled it in. We tilled it in pretty deep. Now we'll hill it up. So that's what it looks like. Now you can see the difference in this dirt. Now you can see that's some fluffy dirt right there on my property. Now I'll show you what else I have. Since we live here in Texas, this is 100 feet from that, and this is the clay soil that we have, and that's the other garden space. So I haven't fertilized that one. We got to work that one some more. We'll put some gypsum down, let it sit, because that's going to be for the March. I'm going to plant my March stuff in there. We'll try to get all of our fall stuff you know, our spring stuff that's cold weather, like right now for onions, potatoes, cabbage. We try to get all that planted over here so that way we can harvest it before it gets too warm. But anyway, yeah, I got it tilled up. Now I got to run some rows on it. I'll cut you back on when I get to that point. Okay guys, this is the hiller that I built a few years back. I built it about 3 years ago. I just used square tube and some flat stock, and I've been using it. Now you could take that same design and build one for your little garden tractor too. And anyway, I went ahead and rode this up. Now mind you, in the past I've run over them twice in both directions to build them up taller, but I'm not doing that anymore. It doesn't seem to be doing, I mean, they look straighter and they're better looking, but as far as growing, it don't seem to do it anything different than if I run a single pass on it. And right here I didn't have enough rows, so I ended up having to cut down here, but that'll be fine. We're going to be putting potatoes in there and stuff, so I'll probably do 3 rows of potatoes. I ended up getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows of plantable area. So we'll run through here, take a look at these rows. Now you might ask why I do this here. A lot of people don't use any kind of row, they just put it right in the flat dirt. Well, this stuff holds water pretty good. It's a clay, and here in Texas it rains, so this keeps the roots out of standing water. In the future I'll probably come back out here and show you that there'll be water in these side rows come spring, and it'll be sitting there, but the plants will be above it, and that works for me. I've been doing it this way pretty much my whole life, but we used to have to do it with a rake. And anyhow, we're gonna go, we got 11 rows here. I'll probably do 1 row, maybe 1 or 2 rows of cabbage, red cabbage, but right here we'll start with the potatoes. I'll put probably 3 rows of potatoes in here. These rows are about 50 feet, 45 feet long. So we'll put 3 rows of potatoes in there. I'll probably go ahead and do three rows of onions. And then we'll probably do 2 rows of carrots, or 3 rows of carrots. And then probably the last 2 rows will just be those 2 cabbages. And we'll see what the cabbage does this year. But we fertilized it. I ended up changing the plan. I was going to put 10 pounds down, but I ended up putting 12. That's the maximum I could in this area. I did expand it with the tiller a little bit, so we have a little bit better area. But everything I'm putting in here is a heavy feeder anyway, so I'll be back out here when we get everything planted. I'm not going to plant nothing today, I don't think. So I might go get my onion starts and maybe try to get some onions in over here. But as far as that goes, I think I told you I like to put two of them on each row. So I planted onions here last year. We're probably going to plant them right here this year. Now on the potatoes, I just use my standing plant. I don't want to get the middle buster out and drag a row down the center of that row. It's not straight anyway. So what I use this right here. It's called a standing plant. And what you can do, it's got a hollow tube here. And what you can do is you'll walk over here, and the guy who makes these, he actually makes them. Here's his information. He was a very nice gentleman. You can get all his information right there. I'm sorry, it's kind of bright out here, but this is the standing stand. This guy makes these. They're cheap. They're not super high dollar, but I called him about 3 years ago, and it was Christmas time, and they got him. He went ahead and made this real fast and got it to us before Christmas. But yeah, when I come over here for potatoes, instead of cutting a whole long row down that whole row, instead of trying to top it, and since it's already broke, we'll go over here because it's probably a little softer. Instead of going down that whole row, I just take the standing plant, pop it in there, open it up, throw my little potato in there, and then I just kick over the dirt with my foot on top of it. I don't plant them super deep because I'm going to heal these up again once the plants are about yay tall. And here's those onions I was telling you about last year. You see how many leaves they got? Well, that's telling me that the starts are ready. But that just that grew itself out. But that's last year's onions, because I let some of them stay to go to seed. I left some in the ground and they went to seed too. But we'll go ahead and get some potatoes in there. Now with the onions, I just use a stick, punch me a bunch of little holes, and go all the way down the road. And I put 2 in each row. So I could put 3, but usually I'll take a rake, tamper down the tops here. At the top of the row, I'll try to take a rake or my foot, and I'll try to stomp it down a little bit so I can get 2 in there, and I'll go down that whole row. But anyway, guys, I mean, that's all I got. I got it prepped up. I showed you about the standing plant. This is also good for tomato plants, and we'll be planting some tomatoes in the springtime over in March over there, and probably some beans over there on that other garden. I don't know if I'm going to do this garden this year, but I got to get all that stuff prepped just like this. And the heavy clay that we have, I think I showed it to you already. That heavy clay over there, it takes a lot more work than this sandy stuff does, and that's why I prefer my fall garden over here a little bit more than I do my spring garden. But anyway, guys, as always, please like and subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and God bless, and y'all have a good weekend.